Good morning and welcome to another Morning Java brought to you, as always, by our friends at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where, Mr. Lawley, I hear they have excellent fish sandwiches.
Yeah, it's that time of year where everybody's looking for a little bit of fish, especially on Fridays, and why not stop at Get-Go and do that?
Speaking of Friday, as long as we're on that topic, is Antonio Brown really not going to be a Steeler by the weekend?
Well, technically, he still will be until March 13th. That's when any trade that they make would become official. So there's a deadline
NFL
here to get something done, as I reported earlier in the week, and then everybody else jumped on it. But look, they want to get this deal done. You set a firm, well, maybe not exactly a firm deadline for this to get done, but they do have a deadline to kind of speed things along. They don't want
smart,
this,
though,
yes,
right? This is
absolutely.
Kevin Colbert basically saying, look, I'm not just going to let this process linger. Maybe he's sitting down there right now at the Rooney Complex holding the Raiders' first-round pick, but he told the Raiders, you know what, give me till Friday.
Right.
See if I
Because
can get this topped.
somebody else might come in at the last second and say, you know what, we've looked at what the free agent market looks like. We've looked now. We've had time to sit down after the NFL scouting combine and assess what this wide receiver group looks like, and there is nobody who comes close to Antonio Brown. That's what we knew going into this whole situation. The only wild card there was, of course, Antonio Brown and his annex.
The wildest of all cards. See, I have an admission to make. I'm one of those people who, whenever teams start releasing guys or they come on the market or so-and-so doesn't get franchised, I want all of them. Like, I see C.J. Mosley, I see Eric Weddle, and I go, yeah, I'll take him. Who do the Steelers actually want? And are people like that even feasible?
Here's the problem, Dayon, and I get this every time one of these guys is released. Somebody who somebody's heard of, or somebody that you've seen play in the division a lot.
No matter how old they are.
No matter how old they are.
Right, okay.
People look at that and say, whoa, we need that guy. And that's just not how football works. I mean, you can bring in a C.J. Mosley, and yes, he's better than John Bostic.
He is.
But is he $10 million? Is he worth the $10 million extra that he's going to cost you when that perhaps costs you also, okay, so you sign C.J. Mosley, but now you can't really do anything else in free agency. You can't go get a cornerback, or you can't go get a veteran safety.
Well, see, this is where the Steelers situation looks most interesting to me, is that, I mean, we can argue safety all we want. I still keep looking at cornerback, inside linebacker, and wide receiver, okay? Yeah. And I don't see all three of them as being free agent needs or trade needs. That's why they have a draft.
But I mean, we know that the Steelers aren't going to go out and sign big name guys. They just never have. You can look at perhaps a Jeff Hardings as being a quote unquote big name guy, or James Ferrier. James Ferrier wasn't even really a big name guy. They were both former first round draft picks who had some pedigree, but they weren't household names.
At the time the time Ferrier was brought in, nobody had any idea he was going to be James Ferrier.
And so I think you have to look at it that way. And the thing that I always tell people when they ask about guys like this, if it were just simply going out and getting names, the Washington Redskins in the 90s would have won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They struggled to get to 8-8 every single year because they would just go out and say, oh, that's a big name, let's go get him.
Okay, but do they have the money? Do they have the means? If they wanted to compete for a Weddle, if they wanted to compete for a Mosley, could they do it?
Possibly. But you have to realize, yes, they have more cap space than they've ever had going into free agency. It's going to be about $19 million.
Right.
That's about 22nd in the league in terms of
overall
cash.
Not even middle of the pack.
Right. So they have more cash, but so does everybody else.
Ben Roethlisberger's future with the Steelers looks like he's going to be here forever now. And isn't it funny because wasn't it just a couple of years ago that we were all like, is he going to stay? Is he going to stay? And now he's going to stay forever, or, as he always puts it, as long as Marquise Pouncey stays.
Well, that's the way Marquise Pouncey puts it as well. I would expect something to get done on a Ben Roethlisberger contract extension by the end of this week. If you remember the last time he was extended, it happened on the Friday right before he left on vacation. He came in and signed the paperwork, and it was announced around 4:30, 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Mm-hmm. Bad news dump, I guess.
Yeah, but with free agency starting next week, I would expect that to get done. They want to get this done before any of that stuff starts so they can roll into free agency with a clean slate with the quarterback.
And know where their budget stands.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I I expect this to be a 2 to 3 year contract extension. They'll sell it as a 2, but it'll actually be a 3 because he's still got a year remaining on his current deal. That will lower his cap hit for next year, but you're looking at probably, something around an extension 2 years at $50 million, something in that range that puts him in line with some of the other top quarterbacks.
The elite quarterbacks up in the 25
There's no such
range
thing as a
annually.
hometown discount anymore.
There is, but at the same time, it's not like, Ben has ever expressed any kind of desire to be anywhere else. I mean, this is where he wants to be. And
you pay your quarterback the going rate.
To an extent, I could see a situation where Ben goes into this coming summer and fall with, he always is better with that chip, right?
Oh, he's going to have the chip this year.
Oh,
No doubt about it.
anybody who's been saying anything about how Antonio Brown made him or something like that, they're about to find out who made who.
Yeah, they're going to say hello to the bad guy.